Hello! It's Joni Rotten. This just showed up in my feed and I started watching it and I was just like, oh my God, I'm listening to my great grandma. I remember sitting by the fire or whatever in the house, keeping her warm. And she would tell stories, my great grandma. And this just sounded like the stories that my grandparents used to tell me, and I was in love with it and I wanted to share. So here you go. Watch this to hear her describe life before 1900. This is an old video. It was recorded in 1979. And he realized the incredible history that she was so able to articulate. And a time before telephone, before the radio, certainly before television. She talks about her family getting a radio. So you should go check this out. David Hoffman did this. Go check his page out. Okay. And then let's watch. Let's watch.
Well, it's a wonderful world to live in today, but I don't think we're any happier. I'm not any happier than I was in those days. Of course, in those days, I thought I had everything that everybody had. I thought I had a little more than everybody else had because I really had no cares at all. And at that time, it wasn't difficult to get anybody to help. In my youth, I had no worries. And
but for everybody,
everybody was friendly. Everybody knew everybody else, and it was a nice life. It was a good life. There was a great deal of family life, I would say.
And in terms of the now,
it's so different now because the family life isn't what it used to be. As the children grow up, they want to, well, they seek more independence, I suppose.
Mm.
And yes, they do. They want to be independent. I don't know whether it's wrong or right. And there are loads of marvelous people living.
So you're an optimistic person.
But I'm most interested in the youth of today because they're the people that are going to carry on this country, this nation. And I want them to hold their patriotism and love the country like the old fellows did, like our ancestors did.
Mm.
Because everything you got in the world, I don't care what you say, depends on what kind of people you have at the head of your government.
Mrs. Souter, why don't you start by telling me about your grandfather and what life was like for a man in the height of the industrial age?
You know, those old iron masters were sort of kings. They ruled the roost, as the boys would say. But they helped develop the country because I know down at home they made the rails for the B&O Railroad, and in the Civil War they made cannon for the Army, the Northern Army. And and then they made stoves, the 10-plate stoves.
Was it an active time here in the city? At the time when there was a lot of industry, describe when you were a child, what it was like. Was it a flourishing?
Well, it was a flourishing town, and it was the center of Lancaster County. It was a great thing to come to Lancaster. Everybody thought it was, yes, they were very proud of it at that time. Oh.
All right, let me ask you again. The Lancaster has changed in terms of the way the city communicates with the world. Right now, for example, you know, and everyone else in town knows pretty much what's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Can you tell
Excuse
me
me, I
about
had
the
to
change
do it.
between 60 years ago and today in terms of this being a provincial place versus a part of the whole country and a part of everything, really?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How you've seen that change take place. A small town life to a more expanded.
Yes, I've seen it. When I came here to live, I think there were 3 automobiles in town. And it is built up now that I think almost everybody has an automobile. And it used to be, of course, the mode of conveyance at the time I came here was we had a railroad that ran from here, from House, from Pittsburgh through to New York. And outside of that, and then we developed the trolleys. We had a marvelous trolley system here in the early 1900s, from 1901 to about, well, I don't, the Depression
Was New
began.
York and Philadelphia and Boston as close a place as it is now, or did it seem far away then?
Well, it was far away. And when you went to those places, you thought you were going to take a trip. You were really going places. And now, going to Boston, somebody gets on a plane and they're there in a couple of hours. I went to Boston on my wedding trip, and oh boy, it was quite a trip. I thought I had quite a trip. And yes, travel at that time. And as for going south, well.
What about hearing about things? Now, let's say some news occurred in Florida or something like that today. How was the difference then in terms of the news versus how it is today in terms of your getting the information about the world?
Well, to go to Florida, I think that was a 3-day trip.
No, I mean in terms of news. If something happened in Florida then, and something happened in Florida today, what is the difference in terms of the way you got the information about what was happening?
Well, you got the information, I would presume, at that time. Of course, I must confess, at that time, I wasn't paying much attention to things of that sort. But looking back over, I would say it was through the newspapers, and I suppose the newspapers got it through telegrams and things of that sort. I wouldn't know how else they would get it. I don't know. We didn't have any telephones early. When I left the country, when in 1901, we didn't have a telephone. No, we didn't. We didn't have a telephone.
What
But
difference
there was
has
a
all
job.
that made now, Mrs. Sauer? What difference has all that telephone and all the other stuff made? What is the difference?
Oh, it's made, of course, the population wasn't at that time anything like it was now. When they first got the telephone, my uncle took over the homestead after my grandmother died, and he lived there, and he had the telephone set up, and of course they had a main line that went down through the old, I have to say it, the old Lancaster Road, and I don't know what number it is now. And he had to build a line in from that line to his house. And then he had so many rings, and of course, when the telephone rang, the whole neighborhood went to listen.
apologize. That's loud. Oh. I felt like I was listening to my grandma. Great stuff.